Fred.
Hello.
Fred Maher. Mar. Fred. This is Marc.
Hi, Mark.
I'm
Hi,
Tom.
Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I love your work.
I think you
I
want
love
to
your
get up
work,
on that.
apparently.
You want to get up on that mic a little bit.
Yeah, come on in.
Tom.
Yeah.
I thought you would know that.
I would
have
know, should know
microphone.
that.
I am a
So-
lover of a good corduroy jacket. Thank you. Seriously.
I'm
So-
glad I brought it. It's
yeah.
cold.
In here, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Fred, you are a drummer,
Yes.
a producer,
Yes.
and you co-produced New York, Lou Reed?
Yeah.
Okay.
With
And
Lou.
with Lou. And you were the drummer in his band.
I was yes.
How long were you the drummer for Lou?
I was Lou's drummer for like a couple of years. There wasn't a whole lot of touring.
Mm-hmm.
There was.
Were you on New Sensations?
Yes, I was.
Did you sign my record at Strawberry Records in Kenmore Square?
Did I?
You might have.
I don't know.
That would be amazing.
I think it happened. I think
I
yeah.
don't know. Yeah.
Do you remember signing a copy of Transformer
No,
that
I
day?
never signed a copy of Transformers.
Okay.
Do you remember going to Strawberry Records in Kenmore Square in Boston to promote with Lou and a couple other members of the band?
No.
Okay, you might not have been there.
I don't think I was on that.
Okay.
So I played with him, like he used to tour in a very limited way.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was we did 3 nights at the Bottom Line, 2 shows a night. I thought I was going to drop dead, and then we did like a really limited tour of like Italy and Europe,
Mhm.
and we would stay in these ridiculously beautiful places, and so
Mhm,
for
mhm.
him it was kind of more of a vacation.
Sure.
Except that in Italy he's like God,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so we would play to soccer stadium. It was just crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, there's
Never
a
seen
crazy live album from Italy.
That's yeah, I'm on that one. Yeah.
Wow, that's a
Live in-
great record.
Live in Italy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pictures on that because it was recorded in Verona in a Coliseum, like that was in much better shape than the one in Rome,
Mm-hmm.
and they do concerts in it. It was just
So how'd you
Super
enter his orbit? Because you were also in Scritti Politti,
right.
which is
Oh,
a
I remember that.
which
band.
is a green Gart side,
Yeah.
which also has a strange history because they were this kind of like slightly lo-fi anarcho
Yep.
punk post-punk band,
Yep.
and then they became just the sweetest soulful like white soul band.
Yeah. Blue-eyed soul kind of.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Well, that's funny because that was a not uncommon thing where like the noisiest, crankiest bands in the world, like just a few years later, would just turn into like super pop,
Yeah.
like monster machines.
Sure,
And
that was
so-
the 80s.
yeah.
Everybody was getting slick in the 80s.
Yeah,
You look at like Steve Winwood, and everybody had those
Big
jackets,
shoulders.
the jackets with the shoulder pad, like yeah, all these 45-year-olds trying to look like they're 22. So you're in Scritti Politti. Was not a massive touring band, was
never
it?
toured.
Yeah. So
I
just a
was the only-
studio band.
I was like the only guy in the band who had ever actually played live.
Okay. So they just built the records in the studio.
Yeah, totally.
So how do you go from that to Lou?
So I actually went from Lou to that, and then back to Lou.
Okay.
I was playing drums with him when I was like 18, 19.
Mhm.
With Lou?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
first meeting with Lou. When is this?
This is so there was an album called The Blue Mask.
The best
yeah.
record.
Oh my
that
god.
I didn't play it.
Okay. Well,
Did not play
It's
on
just
that.
okay. It would have been better if you were on.
But my friend, my good friend Robert Quine,
Oh, that's
Oh my
great.
guitar
God, yeah.
player,
Yeah.
he played on that record, and that was his first record with Lou.
mhm.
And long story short, Lou, they had to make a video, right?
Mhm.
So they had to shoot a music video for it. And Lou,
For which song?
I Love Women.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And for whatever reason, Lou was like, I don't like the drummer guy. Get me somebody else. And Bob said, like, oh, I know this guy.
Mhm.
And that was the first time I met him, was like fake playing drums.
Okay, for
to
a video.
song for a video.
Mhm.
But he kind of liked me, and then the next thing I knew, we were rehearsing for the Bottom Line shows.
Okay.
And he was just sober. at that time.
Ooh, it
Yeah,
must
yeah.
have been cranky.
Just got so.
And
He's always pretty cranky.
Yeah.
But he was always really nice to me.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's good.
I used to see him be really cranky with other people, but he was always really nice to me.
yeah.
I think it was because the age difference was
You were
so.
a kid, yeah.
I
Sure.
was like a baby.
So there was like a avuncular relationship with you and Lou.
You could call it that. Yeah.
Sure. So he's now living in Jersey at this point, right?
Well, he has a house in.
He has a house in Jersey, but he's spending his time in Manhattan still.
Yeah, he's got
Okay.
an apartment in Manhattan.
Because I mean, the song, like, that's one of the things. Like, the songs are like, clearly Lou has a motorcycle and he likes riding around. Like, because he just told us on the album what he's up to. And Blue Mask, like Waves of Fear, I think is a top. That's a top 10 Lou Reed song
For
of
sure.
anything he's
Oh
ever
my
done.
God.
Yeah.
Like, that song is like the churning. Like, I don't know a song that sounds like a panic attack.
Yeah,
Oh my
more
God.
than that
Yeah,
song.
yeah.
literally.
So-
yeah, it's
And that's what got him sober, right? That was the journey to sobriety.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Mhm.
part of it for sure. That's part of the story.
So
but
you're
like New York, though.
Mhm.
Like this is sort of kind of newly macho Lou, right? Leather jacket.
Yeah,
His hair
Mhm.
looks good. It's
Yeah.
curly.
first debut record for Sire Records.
yes, because Mistrial was the last one
Yes.
for
Oh, yeah.
Warner's, right? No, Warner's is Sire. It's
Uh,
for
uh,
RCA.
RCA.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the last
And-
one for RCA. And I was
Were
when
you on Mistrial?
I was not.
Okay, because Mistrial, I think Mistrial is his worst album.
I'm not sure I've ever listened to it. I might have
It's-
listened to it once, and then
It's rough stuff.
What's the album where
it's a drum machine. Right?
Yeah,
I know
it's-
that much about it.
is there like an album called like Satellites Last Gleaming or something? Is there like there's some
Twilight the
Yeah,
Twilight
yeah,
reeling.
Yeah, what is that album?
What is that?
don't
That's a
know.
late one.
Yeah, but it's like a weird little
Yeah.
record. And Set the Twilights really.
I'll say the run. I would say all the way to the end. He was never not interesting. At his worst, he was still interesting with stuff. He's still trying stuff. He did the Edgar Allan Poe thing. He did the Lulu with Metallica, which I mean,
Right.
I stand by that. I hated it when it first came out. I thought it was hilarious that Lou was trying to do something with Metallica. They're huge and stupid, and he's Lou, but he would love to
He always
he would love to get a fraction of what they
A rock
have.
god. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but when you listen to that album, like David Bowie said when it came out, he said this is going to be remembered as Lou's masterpiece.
Really?
He told Laurie Anderson that. He just said,
The
nobody
Metallica
understands it now. It will be like, I see what he did. It's basically an album where he's saying, I'm dying. It's his farewell album. It's all about death and blood, and it's just the most, it's
was
the
his Dark
heaviest
Star.
thing. It is, but it was literally his Dark Star before Dark
Yeah,
Star.
right.
Wow.
He does this 2 discs, like the songs are long. It's all ugly. It's an ugly record because he's dying.
Yeah.
And it's just I'm blown away by it, and I
gotta
couldn't have
listen to it.
misread
Yeah,
it more.
I gotta check.
It's
it
not
out
an
again.
easy listen, but Junior Dad, the final one on the final Lou album, is like that would make me cry.
But
if we
Berlin's
listened.
not an easy listen.
No.
It's
No.
not unusual.
Yeah. So you leave. So you drum in the
Metal
video.
Machine music is.
Oh,
really-
yeah.
that's
New-
you got to be really
was
dedicated.
reissued on Record
Thank
Store
God,
Day.
finally.
Yeah,
I need a clean
I
copy.
can say I actually
You got it.
listen to Metal Machine music more than
Transformer.
others.
Right
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Honestly, it just, if you put it on, it becomes very peaceful
Ah.
at a point. It just, because it's noise, and then you realize it's like a refrigerator is noise humming,
Yeah,
and it's
sure.
just like, it
Sure.
makes sense.
Sure.
Meditative.
Like,
Yeah.
I might have problems,
Yeah.
but
No, I can see that.
so you drum in the video. When do you start? What's the first time you're making music with him?
I think the next thing I remember chronologically is being in a rehearsal room with him and Quine and Fernando Saunders, the bass player, and we were I think it was rehearsing for the Bottom Line shows,
Mhm.
which were filmed. and there's a DVD, but you don't need that anymore. You can just go to YouTube and like
Sure.
Yeah.
look for Lou Reed Bottom Line, and you'll see the show. And I look like I'm 12.
Okay.
In those
Yeah.
videos. It's pretty funny.
What's he like as the band leader when you're rehearsing the shows? Like, what is he? Is there room for you to do your thing, or is he how he wants it?
Yeah, I just know how. What happened was I wasn't very educated about the Velvet Underground prior to getting the gig. So Bob Quine inundated me, like made me cassettes. That was like one of his favorite things
He
to
probably
do.
gave you that whole bootleg box before it became the bootleg
Yeah.
box.
The
Yeah.
Quine
So
tapes,
he
yeah.
gave me many cassettes
Mm-hmm.
of Velvet Underground songs to just kind of absorb it. And so I understood going in that that it was basically, as far as the drumming went, it was just going to be very straight ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was good at. So that's what I did.
So you're locked in.
Yeah.
Then you go down. How do you get involved with Scritti Politti? Because this is a UK band.
That's right. Well, it's the weirdest thing. So I had known about Scritti Politti, as you described them, Skank Block Bologna being their single, and it's very, political and cranky and angular.
Was that the album where they all had the swim goggles on the front cover?
I don't know.
Though the one, it was just like they were just bare bones cover. The one you're talking about, that's just like writing on the cover.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Thinking
but
probably
they,
another band.
I can't remember. I'm not
Okay.
sure. But so that's them.
That's them. And I had been playing with Lou, did the tour of Italy, and maybe I'm forgetting another tour, because we did some big festivals one summer in Europe, like the Roskilde Festival in Denmark and various things like that. And then I was going to go. I got into Cooper Union. I was going to study architecture. I wanted to be an architect.
Okay.
And because I thought I wasn't so sure about the music thing, and I was in school, and I had completed the first semester, and during the Christmas break, Lou booked studio time specifically around my Christmas break,
Okay.
so that we could cut the basics.
Wow. So he's
for
working
New
around,
Sensations.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that spring, suddenly I get this call from one of the guys in Scritti, David Gamson, who's American. I get a call from his mother saying, David wants you to play drums on something. It's this band called Scritti Politti. And I just thought, what?
Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense at all. Like, and it turned out that David, my friend David, had met Green on a student trip through Europe and England and whatever, and they got to talking and they wrote a song together, and then they came over to New York and they wanted me to play on it, and so on and so forth. And then the next thing we knew, Scritti Politti was like a big deal, and got signed by Warner Brothers and signed by Virgin. And,
like that was a top 10, right? Was it a top 10 single? Perfect.
I don't know how high it got in America, but the Scritti was pretty big in England.
But so it's very strange to be in a band that's that successful that isn't an active live concern. You just make the record and then watch what happens. It's like theoretical.
It is. It's weird, but that was what it was like back then, because everybody thought back then it was like, oh, MTV. Well, that's it. We don't have to play live anymore. We'll just make record music videos. And it clearly that wasn't such a great idea. Yeah, in the long run. But,
so it kind of runs its course.
Yeah.
How do you get back in Lou's orbit?
Well, what happened was I had finished the Scritti record, which took like 18 months. That was a long time it took to finish that record. And what happened? So I was free, and Lou reached out to me and said, "Hey, will you, are you around? Will you play drums on my next record?" And I said, "Absolutely, yeah, for sure." And we started talking, and he was trying to find a producer and to work with, somebody to work with, and I was giving him all the names of the day. I was like, "Oh, what about this guy, and people weren't interested.
Okay.
He just wasn't getting any love from the
from the
top,
the heavy hitters.
Yeah, the heavy hitters didn't want to have anything, and so I, being 20, whatever the hell I was, 21, 22, I was really young. I was like, I could do it, Lou, And he's like, "What do you know about rock and roll? You just do those synth pop records." And,
he already had a chip on his shoulder about Scritti Politti. Right. He thought you betrayed him.
I don't know, but somehow I convinced him to get. I said, "Lou, let's do this. If you want to, let's get one day in a recording studio, just one day. We'll and see what happens. Just see how it goes." And he got a day in. There was used to be a famous studio called Media Sound in New York City, right on 57th Street, and he got one day, and that day we recorded and mixed Romeo Had Juliet, which was the opening track, and we made our cassettes at the end of the session, and he called me the next morning, and said, "I sound like Lou Reed again.
Wow,
you're hired." So it was wonderful. Yeah, it was just, I was like, "Oh,
sure."
There's a couple of singles on that record, right? Love You,
yeah,
Suzanne,
Dirty Boulevard.
Dirty
on
Love
New
You,
York.
Suzanne
on New York.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
I
New
thought you were talking about
Sensations
New
is
Sensations.
lovely.
Yeah, no, New York. Yeah,
But
you played New Sensations though, yeah.
yes, that too. Yeah.
So New York, was it a fully formed concept when he went into the studio?
Yes.
Because he always talked about it like it's a novel, it's an audio novel. Like
that's the one with Halloween Parade on it.
Yeah,
that's right.
Absolutely.
Greatest.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
No, it's a great
What a
great record.
Yeah. So he had it like conceptually figured out, and I had it production wise figured out, which was pretty simple. My approach was to keep it as simple as possible. And to what we did was he was super into like his guitar stuff at that point in time.
Sure.
Like he was like always into like tweaking amps.
He's a techie guy.
Yeah,
also
he loves his amp.
It's funny because he's such a like basic guitar player that he gets so obsessed with all that stuff. Who was the second guitar player?
It was his brother-in-law, a guy named Mike Rathke. And so we did something crazy, which was he was very concerned about the sound of the guitars. So I said, "Sure, let's just record the guitars first, like no drums, just play the guitars, and then lay down some guitars and then sing to it, and if it feels good, great." And then I would put the drums on afterwards.
So you had to follow him for the rhythm?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which was, I would never do that again.
Yeah, that seems.
I mean, not that it didn't work out. It worked out somehow, completely by luck.
He has solid timing.
Well, yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, it was pretty. It was solid enough.
Right.
It was solid enough to play along with. And that was the main approach for the record. There's only one song where we actually all played live in the room at the same time, and that is one of my favorites, "Busload of Faith."
Oh yeah.
And that one, if you listen to it, it's got kind of a more kind of splashy, roomy sound. That's because the drums are in the vocal mic.
Okay.
So the vocal, the drums, the two guitars, it's just one,
the room. Yeah.
It's just that take.
Yeah.
So by letting him just play the guitar, that like gave him time to tweak it, and it was just him and the guitar, so he could totally own and surrender to the sound that he chose.
Yeah.
That's pretty smart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we recorded it with an abundance of microphones,
Mhm.
so that like more than you would normally use, so that we could, he could come in and like
Mhm.
play around with it and kind of,
Because you didn't want him to get lost in a rabbit hole of guitar sound.
Yeah.
Or like of his like festering about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was just to, and the other major like production concept from where I was coming from was to put his vocals very far forward
Mhm.
in the mixes. And I was inspired by two things inspired me to do that with him specifically. Was that he had done a recording with a guy, God, what was his name? A bass player who actually played on New York, Rob. I'm forgetting his last name. He plays like a stand-up bass.
Okay.
And he did and Rob made a record called Duets, like a couple of years before. And Lou did One for My Baby and One for the Road, a cover with this guy. And it was genius. And it was just a bass and Lou and I think a little guitar. Couldn't have been simpler, but man, it was good. And I was like, I want to do that.
So that stuck with you.
That stuck with me. And also whatever the most recent Leonard Cohen record that had been out, which I'm Your Man.
It would be about, because we're talking like 87, 88 now, right? Yeah.
And that record had, the vocals were way out in front, like almost the music was like just sort of like a background to the poetry, so to speak.
Okay.
Right. It was the one with the Tower of Sound or whatever, the one where he's talking about the hotel of sound.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of that song. Because it was almost like the music was just almost secondary.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I had those two thoughts,
okay,
like kind of rattling around in my head, and that was my idea when we did that one day. Also, was to put the vocals,
put him
front
up
and
front,
center, and the drums and other things.
I mean, it's pretty amazing when you think of how like wrong-headed so much 80s production was.
Yeah,
it's like you actually made the choices, because that record sounds great today.
Yeah,
it's not, so many records just suffer from, you almost have to listen through the 80s of it.
Yeah, it suffers from cocaine or
cocaine and reverb,
and everybody falling in love with like Fairlight, like synthesizers, and just running everything through. But it's like this record was pure. Yeah.
Did you lean on like Street Hassle at all?
Not really.
Because
I mean, I knew it
pretty upfront on that one.
Yeah. Like, well, in his earlier recordings, he was more upfront.
Yeah.
And I had on other records, like New Sensations, and there was one I forget the other. Wait, there's the one that has the motorcycle helmet on the cover.
What is that?
That's called
Legendary Hearts.
Legendary Hearts.
Yeah.
So that's the first record I play. I'm the drummer on that record.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one after that was New Sensations, and I think there was a producer on New Sensations, the one we recorded during my Christmas vacation, and like people were always trying to get Lou to sing, the production style was like to have him kind of be a vocalist.
But he never
but
could.
That's not what he was. That's just not what he is.
Can you get up closer to the mic, Mark?
I'm sorry.
That's right.
I know how to do this.
I know.
But I thought you were like, could you get out?
Oh, yeah. Mark, would you mind?
Yeah, sorry. I thought you asked me to stay.
Exactly.
But that's the thing about Lou, is that he's got this peculiar confidence in his voice and his guitar playing, and it's not justified by virtuosity.
No,
it's just it's Lou, and and I think he really believes he's a pretty great singer, right?
He's the main thing he has to do is be Lou.
Yeah.
And it's interesting with regard to his guitar playing. When he reached out to Robert Quine to come play on the Blue Mask, Quine actually set some conditions, one of which was that Lou start playing guitar again. Like he encouraged Lou to play
for that rhythm thing.
Yes. Yeah. And also the crazy skronky stuff from the Velvets and
Yeah.
whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to see Quine at Mojo Guitar hanging around.
Yeah,
I guess towards like the end there, probably.
Yeah. On Carmine Street.
Yeah.
Was there a feeling that like he had something to prove with this album?
New York?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's one of those great moments in the record business, if you will, where he was signed basically by Seymour Stein.
Yeah.
It's like, basically, Lou, you've got a home. Do your thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to tell you what to do at all.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Because it makes me think of like how Neil Young, when he went through the whole Geffen run, and then he goes back to Warner Brothers, and then suddenly he's like, hey, here's Ragged Glory, here's Freedom, I'm going to give you Harvest Moon. Like, it's just like new blood, new life.
Yes.
I'm going to show you what I'm capable of, because it just was the previous administration kind of.
Yeah.
Was that the Rockabilly record?
Well, that's all the Geffen stuff. Everybody's rocking.
Right. Yeah.
Like, like all that stuff. Once he got all that, because Neil, they were basically saying, we want you to make a Neil Young record. And he was just like, well, I'm Neil Young. Every record I make is a Neil Young record. And he was going to get sued. David Geffen was going to sue him for making music that was not what was expected of Neil Young.
Really?
Yeah.
That's right.
What do you even base that in?
Well, because to be fair, he signs with Geffen, and then he immediately does a vocoder record. He does a rockabilly record.
Yeah.
He does a country record. He just suddenly is like, it's like, ooh, I thought we were going to get Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere. It's somewhere in here. And then when he goes back to Warner's, he just gives them
all of it.
You get all of it.
Full crazy horse.
Yeah.
And what I was going to point out is giving credit to the way the system used to work, and in particular at Warner Brothers, famously artist friendly, famously like gave people room and gave people time. Probably the single greatest example of that approach to the record business, or the business of a record company, is Prince. I mean, they signed him when he was what? 17 or something.
He was a child,
and they let him produce his own records. They really believed in him, like that he had enough talent.
And he stayed with him the whole time.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean,
they had their
the symbol thing.
Decades.
They had
a falling out.
At some point, but
that whole perfect arc is just all free reign to do your thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you're there in New York. It was not extensive touring.
No.
So I mean, there was Radio City, I think, right? Was that?
I didn't play at that show.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then he did a run. There was a run of shows on Broadway, like in one of the Broadway theaters. I did not play on those.
Where were you at that point?
What was I doing? I was becoming a record producer.
Okay.
And I was just, I couldn't commit to tours and things.
Sure. You've got
things.
Because you have, there's two other, you've worked with a lot of people. Miles Davis on the Scritti Politti record.
Yeah.
Right. and William Burroughs.
Did I?
Somebody was saying here that you did a record with William Burroughs, the Material album.
Oh, well, yes, I was in Material.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever met William Burroughs.
Okay.
They probably laid him into it later.
Yeah, like you. Yeah,
but how about Miles Davis? Were you there when he?
Yeah, Miles, and we did a photo session with Miles, and Miles is. I was a huge Miles Electric Miles fan when I was like a teenager. I was in a very scrunky band called Material, kind of a post-punk kind of funk punk thing in New York.
Bill Laswell.
Exactly. Yeah. And so and Electric Miles was like our our
all that stuff. Well, that's like the heaviest, craziest stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
like Live Evil and
Yeah,
holy
exactly.
moly.
Bitches Brew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the corner
Yeah,
and just
exactly.
like
Yeah.
Jack Johnson. Yeah. So now you're producing. Who did you produce in this post New York era?
Well, I produced actually before and after New York, Matthew Sweet.
Okay.
But the Matthew's like kind of breakthrough record, Girlfriend, was after New York, after we recorded New York. Yeah.
So did you co-produce Girlfriend?
Yeah.
I mean that's just like,
it was another one of those like,
it's like one of the all-time guitar records too.
Yeah. It's
like
with,
holy moly.
Again with Quine.
Yeah. He's like,
and Richard Lloyd.
What a weird combo on that record, because it's just like you get Richard Lloyd, you get Robert Quine, and then just these Matthew Sweet pop songs now had like some punch to them. There was like some real muscle there.
Yes. Yeah, Quine was like a guitar astronaut.
Yeah, total.
I mean, like
absolute
out there.
Maniac.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
True Strat Strangler, as they would say.
So you had to run with that. Were you missing performing, or were you just happy being a producer?
I was happy being a producer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And being an architect was long gone now.
That was gone. Yeah. That was it's been on hiatus ever since.
Okay.
You can always go back, man.
Yeah.
It's not too late.
I love design and architecture. I still do. I just I was never going to get out of there because it was I was never going to be able to do calculus. So
when did you come out here?
I came out here in June of 1996.
Okay. And what was that shift like?
That was
because now we're in the post. Grunge just died.
Yeah. Grunge.
More or
grunge
less.
is just about done. But rock isn't. Rock is still. There was still that kind of whatever you want to call it. So I came out here. Because it was really hard and expensive to make records in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Just you could do it if the band happened to be from New York.
Okay,
you were pretty good. But if it was an upcoming, what we used to call a baby band or something, it was impossible because you couldn't. Where's the band going to stay? Like in a hotel?
Mm-hmm.
Blow your budget.
Hemorrhage money. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And at the time, and studios were plentiful and really, really good, like Sunset Sound, Sound City, and Ocean Way, et cetera, et cetera. All these, there were just all these great studios all over town. And LA had something really important that New York didn't have, and that was Oakwood Apartments.
Yes. Oh yeah, residential apartments.
And that I could stick a baby band in like a 2-bedroom and just they could be there for like 2 months and it'd be fine.
Right.
My first
reasonable.
Yeah, my first TV writing job was on the show Monk.
Yeah,
and it was the first season of it. I couldn't have had less clout for anything.
Yeah.
So when I get brought out here, they're like, "We're going to put you up at the Oakwood," and it was like they're like, okay, because the Oakwood is basically like long-term apartment living quarters, and it's a lot of child actors.
Yeah,
because the families move here for pilot season.
Right,
the whole family moves to the Oakwood while they're taking their 8-year-old out all day to audition
Pimping
for sitcoms. Yeah, exactly. So it's these. It's the most depressing place on earth. It was so depressing, and I remember parking in the parking lot, and I just saw this license plate, and it said Dr. Music. And I was like, well, Dr. Music clearly got thrown out of the house for Dr. Music clearly was up to no good. And he's now living at the Oakwood.
Yeah.
Who was he?
I don't know. I just saw Dr. Music. Like, well, you're in the same boat. And the first thing I ever asked for in any show business, anything, I just said, I can never stay there again. I said to my agent, I was like, whatever the next year's contract is, I have to stay somewhere other than the Oakwood. That's like an immovable. That's not a request. That's
and that I presume was the one on Barham.
Oh yeah. When I first got there, got dropped off. The car service dropped me off. It's like, yeah, your car's here somewhere, but it was at night, so there's nobody there.
Yeah.
And it's just like, hey, is I have a rental car anywhere? And there's nobody in the booth. And then I'm just like, well, I guess I need to go walk 2 miles to Subway for dinner. I didn't have a whole lot of LA experience at that point. I'm just walking down a road, it's night.
I can completely relate to that.
It was
the
the
loneliest walk in the world.
It was
if you don't know LA.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Who am I?
Yeah, doing that walk and just like eating Subway. It's like I'm going down from where I was before I got in this.
The bottom.
Yeah, it was, and they changed the name. I think the name has such a stigma attached to it. It's not called the Oakwood anymore.
Brendan stayed at one when we were doing the Marc Maron show post Air America out here, and he came out to produce. He stayed at one of those for a few months. I don't think it was the Oakwood, but it was something similar where you get full apartments on short-term rentals. Yeah,
it was just like you watch the people moving around. It was just like,
it's weird.
It was motivation to just be like, I got to just get to whatever the next step up on the showbiz ladder is. Yeah. I got to do it.
It's an existential test of LA.
Yes.
So the music industry at that point, we're still in the CD era.
We're pre-Napster.
Yeah. So what was that? What was that? Like, how flush was everything then? Like, what were parties like?
Not a lot of parties. I didn't
even just going to a thing like ice sculptures and things like that now they would be just like,
not in the budget.
Here's a voucher for a pizza.
I used to go and see a lot of bands, and I would if somebody said, hey, you should go see this band, I would go because it's just cool. It's just fun to go and see people actually live playing instruments. But around that time, I would go. I would regularly go to the Whiskey and the Rainbow and the Mint and the Troubadour and see bands play. And, but honestly, that's when things started to kind of slow down for me. And then when the internet happened, and Napster happened and free music happened, the record companies just became apoplectic. They did not know what to do or how to do any in there. And of course, they became like the very worst versions of themselves, which is like, I need a stone cold slam dunk, absolutely 100% guaranteed hit.
Yeah. Or we're all in trouble.
We drop the artist.
Yeah.
And they did do that. They would sign people for like a bunch of money.
So how was that a reaction in Napster in that it would guarantee them income as opposed to it just drifting into nothing?
I don't really know.
Yeah.
They wanted, terrestrial radio was still a thing.
Right.
And so they wanted that. And they were still selling physical copies of things, and they just wanted something that would sell 1 million records. 1 million was fine.
And to get a jump on whatever Napster was doing. So like they could get into that window where they could make the bread and then it would disappear onto the free side.
I guess so.
Well, how did it impact you?
Well, it impacted me because I was making records, pretty good records that just weren't coming out. They would just get them. They would, we'd finish them. I was making a record. I made a record with a fabulous singer songwriter named Casey Crowley, and this was like 98, 99, and we had nothing but love from the A&R person at the record company, and we were told like, record more songs, do more, like keep going, don't stop. And it was a really good record, and we turned it in, we mastered it, and then I got a phone call like a week, 10 days later from the A&R guy, and they said they're dropping her, like that this record's not coming out.
Wow.
And I just thought I was devastated. It was really
because everybody's doing the right thing. Nobody's failing in their artistic
correct
statement.
Exactly.
and yet we're still being brutalized.
Yeah. And it's the old publish or perish situation. And so I went quite a while there without publishing, and it just sort of, yeah. It
The
just
dark
sort of,
period.
Yeah. It kind of.
Well, how were you coping through that, and what were you doing through that?
I mean, I was still working on music. I was still doing stuff. But I kind of fell into the more kind of technological side of things. Like I was
Okay.
really good with Pro Tools and computers and all the technical aspects of it. And I was, I was consulting for software companies and stuff. And I was okay with it, but
Yeah, because there's that point where it's like the industry shifts and the world shifts to where like hardware is it's just like whether you had a CD player or a record player, it's just like, okay, who cares? It's about what's on this CD or what's on this album. You get to the early 2000s, it's like, no, it's about this iPod. The device is king now. The music is now, and that's when they start. The word product starts entering the equation, and it's an overall devaluing of art.
And and albums are dead.
Yeah, albums are dead. It's just back to the 50s now, where it's like a song. You don't even know who did the song, but it's like, I like that song.
And
I like that song.
And it's what were they, 99 cents or $1?
They were 99 cents to buy a single song on iTunes. And it was just such a devaluing of everything that had mattered.
Yeah.
Because it was like in the 50s, it was just like, it was like that in the 50s. So it's like, you're talking 40 years, 50 years of valuing art. And then just one day they're just like, no, it's about just buy this thing for $600 and the musical, you just load it with whatever you want, but make sure you buy the right one of these.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
So music becomes a commodity.
It's just about the delivery system.
Yeah. It was a real cheapening of stuff. And it seems like it is amazing though. Kids like have some like inherent thing inside them that they want tangible things ultimately. Like the idea that vinyl would come back to the degree that's come back with the young people, they just want to hold. If they love the thing, they want to hold the thing.
Yeah, and you can pull it out when your friends come over.
Yeah, and
as
you can
opposed to just be like, check it out.
Yeah, exactly. Showing people like, here, let me show you. You got to scroll through. It's just like, it's like, so it is this thing. I think it's a very human thing that you just want a connection to the art.
Yeah, and
even if they try to throw all these roadblocks at you, you can't drive that away.
Yeah. No, it's
so these days. What's happening these days?
Oh, not too much. I'm at the moment. I'm doing work for a company that's been around for 40 years, called Apogee, who make really high quality digital audio interfaces. So when you want to record music or mix music, you attach a something that kind of looks like this, but they're bigger, and that hooks up to the computer.
Okay.
And I'm doing that, and I love it. It's tech stuff. It's totally nerdy. And I enjoy that.
Yeah. Well, you got the tech brain at the right time.
Yeah.
Certainly. So
the foundation, you just add to it.
So did you ever, what was it? Did you still have any kind of relationship with Lou?
We would talk every once in a while. He called me up. It's kind of a funny thing that happened during recording of New York. We got Maureen Tucker to come
She
play.
played on 2 songs.
Yeah.
An
original Velvet Underground member. And he was trying to get John Cale to come in to do something. And he left it to me to get in touch with Cale. And I was, again, I was like 22 or something, or however old I wasn't. And I was trying to get him to come to this, like book him, like say, like, so when do you want to come in? And we were talking, and then one day he called the studio, and and he said, "Oh, it's for you, Fred." and it's Cale, and he's like, "What is this? Some fucking Velvet Underground reunion?" And I was like, I was like, "No, I don't know. You know, maybe you should talk to Lou."
Yeah.
So he didn't participate. But of course, then like a year or two later, there was in fact a Velvet Underground reunion, and they went on tour in Europe. And then Lou reached out to me when they were doing, he and Cale did songs for Drella.
Yeah.
And Lou kind of called me up and, you know, almost sort of to like apologize that I hadn't been contacted to work on the record. Okay. And he said, yeah, but you know, Cale, he doesn't want any of my people. Like he wants it to be different or something. Yeah. I was like, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah. Fucking Cale.
I know, Nothing.
Still going strong though.
Nothing is in the history of WTF. There's a moment when you were sitting across from John Cale.
The best.
And you're asking him about the Stooges. You're asking about the Modern Lovers. And he's gracious. But then he reached a point where he's just like, I'd like to talk about the newer stuff. Can we talk about this new album? And you're like, they didn't send it to me. And you feel him just shrinking. Just like it reached out. The whatever he was feeling.
Right there.
What was that like?
Wow.
Well, it was across from this guy.
It was like fury.
Yeah.
Because like he's not that gracious, and he walked me through all the John KG sound, art, Velvets, you know, producing and everything. And then, you know, and 45 minutes in, he's like, we're gonna talk. And I said that, like they didn't send it to me. And I just felt that. And then I was like, what did you do differently on this one? And he adjusted.
Yeah. That's
good. And he did it.
Yeah.
It was good. Because I think in the moment he wanted to be mad at me, but he couldn't. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So, and he knew he wanted to sell the record. So he did it. He explained it, and it was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But it was a horrendous moment.
That was one of those ones where I was just like,
it's right up there when I called Nick Cave a cowboy. That was a bad one.
I always feel like,
because I know cowboy was slang for gay in Australia.
You know,
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently.
Oh my God.
And I said, you're kind of like a cowboy. He's like, what? You know, it fucked up the whole interview.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It took me 15 minutes.
No, that's one where
I'd never heard that.
If there was a redo, there
should be, yeah.
There should be a part 2 of you and Nick Cave talking. Yeah. Because you're both you're in much different places now.
Yeah, and we've both been through some stuff.
You've both been through some stuff. It's just like,
oh God, those moments where you know it's just a curveball. Neil Young did it too. Like when I have those old Fender amps, I thought I'm going to get in with Neil on the amp thing because this is sort of like kind of one he plays.
Yeah,
and he sits down and go like, you probably recognize these amps, right? He's like, no. I'm like, oh God. And I had to make it really hard.
Not giving you the thing. It's just
but I broke him. I got him.
No, because you also said something that he commented later on you.
Oh, that was the best. Yeah,
that's the greatest. Like,
well, yeah, because like I did get him. I got him laughing. I got him loose. We had a good time. You know, he let me keep the pomo. Which
Pono,
the Pono, which I use all the time.
The Toblerone bar.
The Toblerone.
But yeah, after my interview, he he went back home, and Dan Rather was at his house to do an interview with him. And apparently, because Brendan, my producer, has a friend who works for Rather, Neil walked in. He was like, "I just did the greatest interview," and Rather goes, "What made it great?" He goes, "Well, the guy was fearless and he wasn't afraid to fail."
I mean, that's the greatest.
Wow.
That's like,
I'll take it.
Yeah, that's quite a compliment.
We're going to talk about tombstones now for you.
Yeah.
I still feel like you could have that. He was fearless and he wasn't afraid to fail, or he pushed.
He pushed. That's for sure.
Right? You could just have two tombstones.
Yeah.
Springsteen was told
like blurbs on the tombstone.
He pushed.